was after the Kiwis got off to a 24-4 flyer in game one. What happens in this one? Fletcher. Matt Brewer over the top. The forwards set it up on that initial encounter. Just away from their own 30. Variation in the kicking game will be a crucial factor between both these sides. Australia with the better weaponry, you would think, from this man, Kamali, and also Fittler. And this is a good kick in behind Barnett and Vainikolo. Barnett, they need big numbers on him. He is such a good talent at beating the first man down there.
Yeah, that's a good start, though, from the Australians. Very controlled. They completed their set of 6. You can see there's a lot of fire out there from both sides. Your forwards will just be taken up. The best thing you can do in a game like this is just get a touch, and what about that?
Well, I thought they were caught standing flat, not hitting it strongly over that advantage line. Joe Vagana this time gets there, but there's big numbers, and the Australians meaning business. Not a bad option from Swain, knowing that even in the first couple of touches, his big men were pushed strongly back up the middle. Into a breeze. That's what we were talking about, the kicking game. Not a good kick straight to Lockyer. Sailor. Not expecting it in the end, that pass. And really fights with Robbie Paul and Stephen Kearney.
This is where New Zealand now, the forwards, have to get in there and maybe try and put on a big hit as well. The Australians already have intimidated just a little bit.
Big start, very confident start from Australia. Darren Britt, just on the fringe. Easily allowed to push it back. Just get the hint of a feeling that on their heels, even from this opening moment, the Kiwis, just for this early stage. Kamali allowed to run to the line before punished by Joe Vagana. Last tackle. But they are down to the Kiwi 10 for Fittler to put up the first real worry tonight. Sailor couldn't get up there and climb. There was good support there. Excellent support for Nigel Vagana, I think, from Robbie Paul. Yeah. Now Barnett to put the foot down and try and make things happen.
That was a great stuff from the New Zealand side, although under plenty of pressure. But this is a good comeback from Barnett. But the New Zealand side under plenty of pressure. And gee, these Australians mean business. But New Zealand just have to absorb this first 10, 15 minutes.
Kiwis to bring it away now from a danger zone where they've really found themselves from the opening whistle. Swain again showing it, trying to sneak away up the middle, taking the pressure off Craig Smith. Real mess in the play of the ball. They were screaming for a penalty. Kearney right on the fringe. Great ball up. Paul over the top. Rogers will streak away. Bounce of the ball. Barnett flying, will not get there. So in the game of a chance of real history for the Kiwis, it is a flyer for Australia. He's still going to check.
Only thing I'm looking at, did he pick it up cleanly? The ball bobbled just in front of the Australian.
He wants to make sure he did pick it up nice and clean. Or was there even a Aussie hand in the original pass that went astray?
Well, that's a good start from the Australians. You could see that they weren't going to be falling into the same traps as the first test, where the New Zealanders certainly dominated. I just see New Zealand just trying to push that pass maybe just a little bit too early. It was never on. You've got to be very careful, because you will be made to pay if you make a mistake in this game. This Australian side are very, very talented. There goes the pass. That's a try.
Brilliantly controlled from Rogers. Just can't give him any chance out wide. Gone. And this is going to hurt right from the start. The flyer that the Kiwis got a couple of weeks ago turns around for Australia. Just waiting for the light. And upstairs wants another look. Just suggestion maybe that he might have got a finger to that before it hit the deck.
I was just about to say that, Graham. It looked a lot like it. That's what we're looking at here.
Now, was there any touch? No touch from Australia. Well, the other suggestion I had was Rogers when the ball was still floating down towards the ground, but it's okay upstairs. So they grab that 4-0 lead. And Rogers, an outstanding kicker, as this one from 10 metres in from the sideline. Perfect beginning for them. Absolute maximum. Rogers converts his own try and they get it out immediately to 6-0.
Get your mark square.
6 points.
Stephen, on the 10, get with me on the 10 metres.
Henry Paul risked his arm to send it out wide to Vainikolo. He got badly burnt with a poor pass. Now Stevens, a man who came in very late in the hours before the game for Rodney Howe. But Dwayne Mann, lots of emotion pre-kickoff, and I mentioned it immediately. I just thought the Kiwis were a bit flat.
Yeah, I don't think they were nervous, but they certainly were flat. And I think the Australians, they certainly wouldn't have dreamt for a better start. They got that, and certainly it's all in their favour. The kicking game, they will look to kick to Vainikolo's wing. Some of the balls on the ground. He'll have trouble recouping as he has to turn his back. This is a long kick that needs to just sit up. It'll go dead, so well read. But the Kiwis just need to make sure. I think their game plan has been good, playing into this win. A lot of runs out of dummy half from Richard Swain.
Well, Stevie Walters, the Australian forward pack, has wasted no time whatsoever.
No, fantastic start tonight from the Australian forwards, and great to see him come up with some points as well. And keep your eye on Brett Kimmorley, as you've mentioned, with this breeze. It's very gusty down here, and it's a great opportunity to get a couple of 40-20 kicks away in the first half.
Willie Tallow amongst the middle. Craig Smith. It was Smith, Wagner, Stephen Kearney, Brewer. They just laid the foundation a couple of weeks ago, but haven't been able to put their imprint on it yet.
Not yet, but they are taking the ball up nicely now, and you can just
Swain had support outside.
You can just see the sting in that Australian defence. It is a lot tighter than the first game. The Australians have improved.
Henry Paul. Twice they've kicked. Twice it has gone straight to an Australian player.
Yeah, that might be a little bit of a downfall, their kicking game in the play, but having said that, he needs a bit of room and to position himself. But just as long as he doesn't kick the sailor, he should be right.
Kosef spun in the tackle, but still unloaded well for Darren Britt to pick up the dregs from Gower. Matthew Johns. Great long pass to give a half chance to Darren Smith in the end out wide. Sailor quickly up for Fittler. Fittler to kick. Vainikolo's up flat. Rogers believing he's onside. The chase is on into the in goal here. Will it be too strong? Vainikolo just leaves it alone. So he just hasn't caught the weight of that, either Kimmorley or Fittler, the weight of that breeze.
Yeah, they're certainly targeting Vainikolo's wing, aren't they? That making the big man turn around. They're not kicking it straight to him, making him turn around and bring the ball back.
That's a reputation for balls kept along the deck, having trouble with them down around his ankles. But Barnett, 35 away, looking to get a roll on. Stevens involved in slowing that tackle down. And Russell Smith gives the penalty. Joe Vagano wants the quick tap. Henry Paul right on halfway. Australians weren't back to 10, but advantage played. Kiwis just keen to pick up the pace. They need to. Logan Swan, short of the 30. Robbie Paul. Second time goes on the inside to Kearney. Kearney breaks one, a second. Still near midfield. They go to Henry Paul. Runners inside. Matt Rua just changed the angle. Right down onto the 20. Looking to hit back immediately. Swain. Swain! 5 metres away. Quick play. The ball required on the last if they can go to the wing. Henry Paul. Quick hands. Kearney. Kearney needed. To the in goal. Lockyer will have to play on it. Did he force it? Now a touch. Judges called out to Russell Smith just to check the call. Lockyer gambled for as long as he could. If another quick ball was handed out, they might have had just an edge and advantage out wide. Now they've said it's dead in goal.
Yeah, well, they certainly had the numbers too. Steve Kearney took the option of a kick, but he did have the numbers out wide. The Australians will have to watch that. But it's great stuff from the Kiwis, hot on attack.
Darren Smith just drags that in. He wasn't expecting that quick short ball. Stevens standing flat and still allowed to get over the advantage line. Finished off by Smith. Well, he tried to milk it, Jason Stevens. Russell Smith had nothing to do with it. Fletcher. Not as fiery as an opening as the first game. Gower right up the middle with a good step. Trapped by Logan Swan. Last tackle. Kimorley. Kicking. This time, mixing it up. Midfield bomb for Barnett. Barnett takes it beautifully. Steps out of one. Taken by Darren Britt. Second time round.
Gee, solid a bit behind any Barnett, you know. Very, very good under pressure. The Australians were coming down on. That's a great run from Bonnicola. But the Australians were coming down on Barnett, but he always takes that ball very safe.
Ruben Wicke up the middle, met strongly. Good quick play of the ball from him now. Henry Paul dashing. Henry Paul! Here it comes! Robbie Paul! It's the brothers! They've got together and for one over the posts! Don't worry about passion. How about good old-fashioned brotherly love?
Well, they say they play their football in their backyard. They know each other's play inside and out. I think we saw a little bit of that special magic from the boys just there around the dummy half. The markers didn't chase. They knew exactly what was happening. Anybody thought that these guys were going to be put under pressure, they've just answered it right there.
Yeah, he's having a wow of a game, Henry. He's been involved right from the start, at first receiver or from acting half. Just gets a nice clean break. Both sides will be disappointed with their markers. Have a look at Robbie Paul, the speed of the bloke. He needs a big game tonight, and that'll do wonders for his confidence. Excellent start.
Henry to Robbie, and that was it. Shut the gate. Now for Henry from in front. You don't want to let Australia put back-to-back tries on you. They've stopped that. They've hit back. Nice and quick. Nice and strong in this final of the tri-series. Locked up at Ericsson, 6 apiece. Stevie Walters, everybody's been knocking off up the middle.
Yeah, they seem to make some... Australian defence has been pretty good thus far in the match. A little slip up there. Brad Fittler just went a little bit too far to the left and lost his feet, and the Kiwis are good enough to capitalise on that.
Well, Steve, Richard Swain hasn't wasted any time. I mean, he's already taken off 4 times up there.
Yeah, he's had a busy start to the match, made some good yards. And here's another great opportunity for the Kiwis. A bad mistake from the Aussies.
This is interesting. Don't you worry. As great a player as this guy is, Lockyer, this is the final, and you can come up with mistakes under pressure big time.
Well, you know, and if you do, sometimes you can be made to pay in a pressure game like this. It's unbelievable the amount of pressure that is on these players, and it's starting to show on a few of them.
Big lift now for the Kiwis. Possession following a try. Kearney. Lowry out there off the bench, and Kearney just struggles with him. Still gets finished off over the top by Stevens. Couple of penalties only. They've gone to the Kiwis. Henry Paul once more. Matt Rua followed him well against Great Britain. Got rewarded with a try. Just away from the 20. Craig Smith rolls around on the play, and they take it immediately back down to the Australian 10. Here's some more heat. Henry Paul, Robbie Paul, Kearney, Robbie Paul! He's got a double no, has he? They're going to check upstairs.
Time up, please, Ben.
I don't know if the ball was finished off. Russell Smith's right on the spot, but Robbie Paul was just back down here.
He's got a double movement first. And if there wasn't, I want to check the ground here. The double movement first.
He got up nice and confident. The Australians don't want to know about. Now, is his momentum finished? Has the ball touched the ground? Is he tackled? He looks as though he's lost the ball, pushed it forward.
Yeah, he certainly has. So close, but I think he's a centimetre short.
See if it's a double movement.
Now,
Yeah, one last tackle.
low angle tells you that it looks short, but if the
wasn't the
initial
last tackle, was
grounding
it?
cuts any chalk, it's a try. If there's any chalk on that ball there, that's a try. Here he pushes it forward. No try.
Yeah, scrum then.
Huge let off for Australia. But what a couple of minutes from Robbie Paul.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it just shows you too, around the ruck area, the Australians are very, very vulnerable.
Let's go, lads. Let's
Got a fantastic little step. He's very, very hard to control. The Australians are finding it hard. Wow, that was so close.
I think it was Michael Vella who's just got out there from the bench in 17, who was done pretty easy on the inside. Big step from Robbie Paul. Now they look to bring it away and get out of here.
And you can just see the New Zealand side, that first 5 minutes, they absorbed everything from the Australians, but very, very confident right now. And everything they do is very positive.
Good surge from Vella.
Henry, come on.
Kamali straight away. Chases on. Saylor has got a bit of pace along with Darren Smith. Now there could be a penalty for New Zealand. Back upfield. One of the players was pushed out of the way. Nigel Buggener, who's gone over and complained to Russell Smith. Touch judge is finally in. Now, bit of a duel out here between Nigel Buggener and Saylor. Did somebody take somebody's running? You can run shoulder to shoulder. Saylor just pushed him over. Well, if he's not going to penalise Nigel Buggener, then the penalty should have been back up near the 35-metre line and a penalty to New Zealand.
Well, it should have been a penalty to New Zealand. Nigel Buggener was pushed out of the road.
Lowry puts it down, opens the door. There'll be a scrum midfield for Australia.
Well, that's a real let-off now for the Australians. Should have been a penalty as Jason Lowry takes it up nice and hard, but number one rule is you've got to hold on to that ball. Ball security is paramount out there tonight.
Hold your 5, Kiwis.
Fittler at the scrum of danger if he wants to take it out of there. Kamali also to look for Matthew Jones. Stays short side for Gidley. Outstanding on his feet in the second 40 against the Kiwis in that opener. Jason Smith from the bench. The ball player, they say, that can create the impact to win this game. Kamali with Johns to the line, using Fittler, decoy, Lockyer. Darren Smith got absolutely hammered. Big set of 6 to hang on to after you make a mistake in your own territory. Kamali back the other way, monstered by Logan Swan. Now they're lifting with some of their intensity in defence. Johns stepping. Still again forced down that same side. One more tackle. Kamali to look out towards Vainikolo. Vainikolo just short of his own line, pushed back in there. It'll be a line dropout and they'll get 6 more. Great tactics. Great kicking game. And Kamali, Steve Walter's showing everybody why he was one of the players of the year in the NRL.
Yeah, you wouldn't see a better kick than that, but I've got to give the Kiwis a rap there for their defence. The Australians put plenty of questions to them, and they still didn't look like scoring.
Yeah, that was great stuff from the Australians, but you're right, the defence from New Zealand out wide, and Ruben Wiki, they are putting a bit of sting in there. And the Australians are trying to shift the New Zealanders from one side to the other, the big forwards.
Timmins out there in 15 for the Aussies as Rogers busts and spins out of 2 and 3 tackles. 4 and 5 tackles, 5 metres out. After such a good set of 6, pretty flimsy defence. Kamali inside for Vella. This is the real test. This is what can mean a difference, to hang on for 2 sets of 6. Huge psychological boost if they can do it. Fittler, big numbers, Fittler. Cutting men out, Darren Smith cuts back, puts it down. Lockyer. And that, I think, will be okay. He might check a ball back on the inside to see whether there's a knock on. He said it's okay.
No need to check that.
Couple of Kiwis questioned it, but they get out to 10-6. It looked as though it was well and truly passed back. And great hands and finish.
Yeah, great back up there from the Australians, but Nigel Buggener to come off his wing, and that's what caused a few problems. The Australians just keeping the ball alive, and a complete Great stuff from Rogers there. He set this try up. Great stuff from Rogers, but just look out wide now. Nigel Vagana, they're caught short. He comes in off his wing. There he is, there he goes for the intercept. But the cover comes across, but the Australians just carry on offloading. That's a good try.
Yeah, you pay the price for dropping the ball, coming out of your own half. Go back to the Jason Lowry mistake. Brad Fittler, he's been waiting out on the fringes, looking for an opportunity, able to suck in Nigel Vagana, came away from his man, but it's good support play that keeps the ball, pushing it back on the inside. You're always going to find good support play in Matthew Johns.
Rogers, 1 from 1. Make that 2 from 2. Just that little bit of breathing space, putting it to the Kiwis to hit back as well. 12-6 Australia. All but a couple of tackles, and the Kiwis would have been able to save a situation after 2 sets of 6 for the Aussies. Now Henry Paul with a restart, playing into a pretty strong breeze, the Kiwis. If they're within 6 at half-time, I think you'd be more than happy.
Yeah, you certainly will with a breeze like that. The Australians really need to be a good 12 points ahead at half-time. But having said that, if New Zealand's kicking game is good in the second half, they should come away the victors if it's nice and close.
Kalis out there in 16. They spent 11 minutes in their own half, the Kiwis. Nearly 2-1 against them, that stat. Can't win a final if that stays the same like that in the second quarter. Penalty comes for putting Fittler back down on the deck a second time and slowing it down. And you can't afford to give those away. They'll pick up another 30 or 40.
No, you certainly can't. This is where New Zealand have to really regroup now and just turn a negative into a positive. Forget about that and just go back to their game plan. Do what they've been preparing for all week.
Bella shortened up. Wicking down low. Swan right into the midsection. Darren Brett. He loses it. And stolen. This will bring Rogers off his wing with another chance at 2.
Well, if you give away penalties in a game like this, you will be made to pay. It's very high stakes here. Wow. That might have been a tough call on Jason Lowry.
Out near the 40. Just a brief break for both sides. Rogers, far off midfield, to be looking pretty much down the barrel of the post. Kearney, toiling hard. % record tonight. This to give him a little extra comfort. No problem for one of the best in the business. And Rogers sends them back now with a couple more. 14-6.
Been a great start to the match for Matty Rogers, hasn't it? A try and 3 goals, and he looks very confident out there.
Well, Steve, I'd like to ask you the question. I know that you guys are pretty confident whenever you've got a pressure situation with the Kiwis. They did tend to make a lot of mistakes at their own end that always cost them points badly.
Yeah, well, that's been the problem for them so far, and particularly running in, as we've mentioned a number of times, into that strong breeze, and the last thing you want to do is make mistakes. You know, you want to try and play down the other end, and they haven't managed to do that thus far.
Joe Wagner tries to control at least Darren Brett. Matthew Johns stepping into a whole heap of trouble. He's out. Matt Johns doesn't know where he is. Vainikolo one-on-one with Rogers. Tries to get to the outside. Can't. Matthew Johns in awful trouble midfield. Robbie Paul. This is where they can make them pay. Man injured in the defensive line. He was really put out of there. Joe Wagner absolutely hammered him over the top. Richie Barnett spins out of one. Now hands it off to Robbie Paul. To brother Henry. Keeps it travelling for Logan Swan with some men outside. Now inside. 18 metres away for Henry Paul. To try and work the magic now with Craig Smith. Good support on the fringe. They take it confidently towards the posts. Robbie Paul, he's got one. Tries to put Willie Tallow over. Couple of metres only. Robbie Paul again. To the in goal. The kick came from Kalis. Somehow he got in there at first receive. A bit of a breakdown in communications. Wrong man got it, and Lockyer to bring it away now for Sailor.
Yeah, a great chance there blown by the New Zealand side, so they're going to have to really defend well now. Kalis there putting in the kick. Straight to Lockyer.
If they can cut down mistakes, if they can control the ball, when they get down here, Dwayne, they look like scoring all the time.
Well, they do. They just need to do as what you've said, but it's been a lot of four tackles so far. The Australians just haven't been able to get through and make that clean break, so they know after the Kiwis make a mistake, they've got to make sure they number up and try and put these Australians on the deck and stop them from unloading like they are doing now.
Well, they'd only travelled about 5 metres, but some of the catching and passing was brilliant. Kamali, way downfield, looking, 40-20, is it? And can you believe it, after all of that pressure, the Aussies will have the scrum feed.
Well, that's a great kick from Kamali, using the wind to his advantage there. They are going to get the scrum feed, and that puts a lot more pressure now on the New Zealand forwards, just having to turn around and form that scrum and now defend again.
Well, Kamali wants to get on with it as quickly as possible. The Kiwis milking it, taking their time to get back. 8 points in it. But this is such an important passage now. The Australians believe they can really put a gap in it.
Well, the New Zealanders have done quite a bit of defence out there, so I'm sure that they'll be quite tired. The Australians they're firing on all cylinders at the moment. This is a great attacking position to be in.
Ryan Girdler has gone to 5'8" for the injured Matthew Johns. Quickly put down by Barnett. This is where they will pick up the pace in the play of the balls. Gidley. 5 metres away, the Aussies. Swain puts him down a second time. Gower had support, he fumbles, and there's the mistake the Kiwis get off.
That's one, it went back off the Aussies.
There was a breakdown up the other end by the Kiwis and a breakdown here from the Australians.
Yes, great defence there from the New Zealand side. They're not faltering under pressure. They've been very strong near their own line.
Had support there from Jason Stevens. He was thinking about getting it to him. Now the Kiwis will get a penalty to look out over the sideline and to get it well and truly away from this danger zone. Henry Paul again off the side of the boot, as we saw, I think, on 3 occasions last week against Great Britain.
Yeah, the kicking game for those penalties for the touches is not the best, really. And, they should make an easy 30, 40 metres just to make it a lot more easier on the forwards who had a look at metres gained there. 611 by the Australians.
That was a forward pass from Henry Paul to Joe Bugner, let go by Russell Smith. Bit of sloppy play. Now Wiki. Ruben Wiki took a very high shot, climb up there from Ryan Girdler. And Russell Smith's not going to let this one go.
That's why I call the penalty.
Girdler really leapt into this.
Yeah, Ruben Wiki's having a strong game. Look at that. That certainly is a high shot on Ruben Wiki. The referee saw it. I thought he might have done a little bit more than that. Just a penalty.
20-metre line. Craig Smith.
Let him up, Ron, get up.
Had one try disallowed the Kiwis. They have the penalties 4-2. Joe Bugner throws himself into the line. Stands, unloads. Richard Swain dummies, ducks and finishes off just inside the 10. Craig Smith to set it up, out wide for a back line.
Get up, on your line, Brad, on your line.
Pushing way back deep, Robbie Paul, they stay short side. Henry Paul rolls over, does he get it down? No.
Shut up, let me go to the screen. Time up, please. Interesting call here, Dennis.
Now he's going to go upstairs.
You can't take it over the line of screen, then. I want to look to see if Henry Paul lost control in the form of grounding it, or whether it was actually stolen as he was going over the try line. There appeared to be more than one in the tackle.
There was certainly more than one in the tackle if it is stolen.
No.
Stolen. It will make an interesting call for Russell Smith.
Let's have a look now at Henry Paul.
Well, he's in control. He's in control, and Lockyer drags it out, steals it in the tackle. Stolen. Now, here's the pressure on the referee.
That's a penalty to New Zealand.
Is it a simple penalty? Does he just give them another penalty or even make it even more damaging.
Well, for mine, it's got to be a penalty to the Kiwis.
Stolen by Lockyer, make no mistake. He drags it out right here. Just keeps it travelling with his forearm.
Or is it a penalty try?
Now this is going on and on. Well, let's have a drink and we'll think about it.
We'll wait for him.
Now he's still debating with the man upstairs.
Yeah, it's okay.
Dwayne, how'd you see it?
I think Russell Smith's having a big game. Everything he's called so far has been correct. I think looking at his body language, I think he may well award a penalty try.
Well, that's going to be a big call because Lockyer was there. But there's a lot on his mind. I think he's got to come up with at least the penalty.
Give a penalty to New Zealand.
Does he take it further? Is there a professional foul against Darren Lockyer?
Penalty attack. Darren Lockyer, 10 minutes in the bin for stealing the
he's
ball.
got to go. I mean, it's a professional foul. He's gone for 10 minutes. You have stopped the try deliberately. He's out of here. They're down to quite a sensation. Here's where they've got to nail it. Richard Swain, 2 balls out there. They just try to settle down the Kiwis. Now the Australians were never back 10, but they go wide straight away. Robbie Paul bringing in Barnett. Barnett straightening through the tackle of Fittler. Down to 12. Can they get the equation right? Now another push down. Now he didn't go for 2 from the other side. Does he go from 2 this side? Well, they think they can grab this too. Temptation would have been great. Temptation would have been enormous here with just 12 out there to go for 4 or 6.
Well, you think that maybe they may have chanced their arm and gone for that try, but at the end of the day, there's a long way to go in this game. But
Frank Endicott on the phone to possibly debate that decision. Steve Walters, would you have gone for the try?
Yeah, it's easy to sit on the sideline here and say, but I've got to admit I had a feeling, the Australians are under a lot of pressure there. I would have gone for the 6 points.
Henry Paul with enormous pressure now to make sure of at least 2. Otherwise, this has eaten up plenty of time. Drags it round nicely. He has been kicking quite outstandingly. So they edge closer and the Australians are down to 12, 14-8. Fascinating spin from Robbie Paul. The step, the strength. Gower on the tackle. Lockyer on the tackle. Had to come. Lockyer had to do it to try and save a try. But all the decisions from Smith were right.
It was going to be a try, but you can just see too that the Australians are getting a little bit frustrated out there. 2 or 3 penalties in a row. I think there's going to be some fireworks soon if the Australians don't watch themselves.
Paul. Robbie, that is, down a short side. Sets in possession all square. Completions better by the Aussies. Lowry had to check himself. Didn't give him that little bit of extra oomph over the advantage line. Pushed in the tackle. Another penalty. Now they'll go down to Aussie territory. Can they grow from this down towards the last 10 minutes before the break?
Well, the last 10 minutes is the most important time in a game. The Australians certainly frustrated out there. That's 3 penalties in a row. They've got to be very, very careful.
Warning from the referee on Jason Stevens for the tackle. Swinging arm. Kalis fighting every inch up the middle and gets to unload. Robbie Paul. Kearney. Kearney away from 1. Taken by Fittler, who rushed in to make it. Henry Paul quickly out for Craig Smith. He puts the foot down. Still plenty of tackles in this set for them. Barnett at first receiver. He's cut out. It goes to Henry Paul. To Robbie Paul. Looks inside. Outside for Willie Tallow.
Forward pass, lads. No advantage. Well, they finished up being 1, but...
So just lacking that right finish the number of times they've come down here.
Well, they know out wide is where they're going to attack. When you're a man down, the gaps are going to be out wide, but Australian defence is sliding very well. This is where New Zealand have to strike. The Australians down to 12. They need the pill.
Rogers. They will do quite sensationally, Australia, if they can get out of this without any points, or tries that is, being posted while Lockyer is off the field for the 10 minutes. Big penalty this one to give them a chance at some attacking points. Fittler straight away sending them down inside the Kiwi 20. Darren Britt back out there, he loses it. So they're not controlling the ball all of a sudden. Craig Smith pushes the pass. That wasn't required.
That advantage has been taken.
A pass like that in your own 20. Just don't know why. You were given the advantage from the Australian loss. Now inside the 20 again, through the hands, as both sides are guilty of a lot of handing mistakes.
Well, they're trying to really push the pass, aren't they? And, you know, offload.
Fittler for Darren Smith. Shown the sideline and thrown out of there. Wiki gets over and says plenty to Sailor. So the Paul brothers are coming up with big games. This time Henry in defence on Darren Smith. Never let him cut some grass with the ball.
Yeah, great defensive from the Kiwis. And just see the slapping of the hands and that. They're very, very confident out there still, the New Zealand side. They're playing with it like a team with a lot of passion.
Steve, I know it's a final, but are you concerned about the high error rate from both sides?
Well, I think both teams are feeling the pressure a little bit out there. I'd like to give Jason Stevens a rap. He's just come off now, but he's been really doing some great aggressive defence out there for the Australians tonight.
Dwayne, can you assess that real breeze or the value of it for us? Joe Buggano about to go back on. You're happy with a scoreline like this at the break?
Yeah, I think Frank Endicott certainly would be playing into this breeze. Yeah, I think the Kiwis, they've really done everything to get themselves into this game, and I think what you're seeing is that there's no mistake that we're seeing a lot of balls being dislodged, because that's where the players are aiming up at, trying to target around that area just to look for a dislodge.
5-4 the handling errors as Henry Paul. Can he get it away from someone? 3 times they've kicked down deep, 3 times they send it straight to a player.
Yeah, the kicking game's not the best out there, the New Zealand side, but I know we give Joe Vargan a lot of rap, but I can tell you now, Craig Smith is having a fantastic game out there as we have a look at the errors in the own half. But Craig Smith, you know, he takes that ball up very, very strongly, a great defender, and, you know, he doesn't get the raps that he probably deserves, and he's going forward, and fine player.
About 7 minutes. Kamali. Smith, they took down another one. Nigel Buggano. He was just grabbed. He was well and truly gone. It was a try-saving tackle. They might still get it yet. Brewer to the midfield, and he throws it away. Both sides are guilty, absolutely guilty. They're just not handling the pressure of the final.
Well, that was just a bad call there, bad communication from the New Zealand side, which we haven't seen a lot of. Usually the talk out there is very, very strong and positive from the Kiwis. But talk about pressure, the players are certainly feeling it. Even the best in the business are making mistakes.
Stevens, not much of a spell for him. He gets back out there. Brett. Short of the 50. Kamali. His long kicking game has been outstanding. How about the short kicking game? Barnett rushes up so confidently. How about the hands in this? Barnett, what a return of the ball. And he's run right over the top of Darren Brett and really hurt him. He's struggling. And then he gets up and he loses it. Wants to argue it, but Russell Smith immediately blew it up. And we'll hear none of the argument from the New Zealand skipper.
Well, just have a look at Barnett. Fantastic take there. Picks it up on the run through and just runs straight over top of the front row. It doesn't happen that often, let me tell you. But was the ball stolen? He's fighting to get up out of the tackle. And there it is. He did lose it.
Stevens. 45 away. This game is so well set up down to the last 5. There is just 6 points in it. And you immediately start thinking about such an important game as Kamali skips away and looks for support. He got finished off strongly. Rogers goes out to Sailor. Rogers still alive himself. How many tackles has he beaten as he waits this over the top? Johns out for Gidley to the corner. Gidley. Great saving tackle. What a save. What a recovery. Everybody on their feet as this one could have been so important. I was about to say at 14-8, Toddy, next scorer might turn around in the second half and go on with it.
Well, they certainly could because you have a lot of confidence. But what about the scrambling defence there from the Kiwis? That man there, fantastic stuff. I'll tell you what, you want to talk about having a go. This New Zealand side are certainly digging deep and having a go. Look at the sweat coming off Big Joe out there. This is a tough one.
It's like a boxing match, isn't it? Every time someone throws a jab, the opposition put one back at you, and you really just need to stay on your toes.
Henry Paul, that would have been a try, Steve, that really busted the final open.
Yeah, I was about to say it was a crucial 5 minutes. You know, the Kiwis would have been happy to go in just 6 points down. Likewise, the Australians really would have liked to put another try on with this breeze behind their back.
All square in possession, but a number of fumbles under the heat, the pressure of this tri-series final.
The Australians have done very well, remembering Lockyer is only just going back out there now, so they've done very well in defence. New Zealand unable to post a try against 12.
So Rogers was the man who went to fullback. Henry Paul. They've stayed away from Sailor's wing, and they do so on this occasion by making sure they put it over the chalk. He hurt them badly in the first game.
Jason, hold that.
And it's the first time they haven't sent it straight to an Australian player.
Yeah, that's probably the best kick they've done, and you don't want to be sent it to that man there, Wendell Sailor, because he's very dangerous on attack. Look to him to really open up in the second half.
45 Kiwis.
This is absolutely essential. This will probably be, if both sides control it, this will probably be the last set of 6 for the Australians.
45, Henry.
No points to be scored. That is the absolute be-all to end-all. Lockyer, waste no time to link up. He puts it down. There's a hand in there from Henry Paul, and he gets penalised, and they're going to give up some more territory.
They're going to have to really dig deep now, the New Zealanders. They can't let the Australians go in just before the break. It'll be a big boost for them.
Stevens putting everything into this first 40. Last couple of minutes. Vella nearly overtook that on the advantage line. He was truly crunched by Kalis. Kamali. Fittler on the inside. Smith now Lockyer as they try to work a set piece. Couple of tackles remaining. Can't let them score. Australia trying to improve that advantage with the breeze at their backs in this first 40. Matthew Johns hands it off for Stevens. He pushes it out and they cough it up. So great defence at the finish. 90 seconds before the break. Matt Rua.
And that's a big boost for the Kiwis going into the break, knowing that they can hold off the Australian attack so close to the line.
Kiwis have got plenty of players here though, Toddy, that can hurt you. Like Bonacolo, Nigel Buggana, the Paul brothers, they might just get in there and take off from dummy half.
And that's what I like about the New Zealand side. They've got match winners all over the park.
Like this, Bonacolo to break away and shut it up. Here's a barnstormer, last 60. Robbie Paul, Henry Paul. He had Logan Swan outside. Nigel Buggana was screaming to him to kick it to the in goal for a race. Robbie Paul ducking, just 15 away. Just 6 points in it. Tri-Series final of 99. Swain stepping. And there'll be a penalty here to edge them closer right before the break. Now Swain didn't only just try and catch them, being out of position, he wanted to catch them offside.
Yeah, tremendous vision there out of dummy half. He saw them. They weren't back to 5, the 10. And Swaney went straight for the player.
Now, double markers, they'd never gone back. Jason Smith, Fittler had never got back there, and that warning from Russell Smith to the Australian captain was, if you don't tidy it up, I'm going to penalise somebody and put him in the bin in the second half for professional fouls in that area.
And that's a good call. from the referees. Had a fine game out there in the first half.
Steve, a good psychological finish to this 40 for the Kiwis.
Yeah, they'd have to be happy with that. More than likely 2 points here for Henry Paul.
Keep still, lad, please, keep still.
Just chips it over. There is a real hint of it as this Ericsson Stadium crowd want to let their local heroes know. A bit of history to be achieved and a real sense of it as we restart. Nigel Wagner. How early do they go to the kick? And can they find some 40-20 kicks themselves that might turn this game around?
Well, already we've seen the Kiwi kicking game isn't the best, but with their win behind them, it might help them. I think one of the other big things too is they've really got to concentrate on ball security, complete those sets of 6, and get a good roll on from the forwards.
Toddy, I honestly think that if they control the ball and they use the breeze, that they just about get home now. I don't think the Australians created big enough advantage on the scoreboard. Look at this! How's this for a turnaround right from the break? Look out! The forwards will grow about another 6 feet after this as Australia are pinned back to their 10.
Well, Graham, I was just going to say I'd have to agree with you. One of the most logical things you've said all night. And look at that. Oh, I bet that hurts, Graham, eh? That's got to hurt.
They've got to control it. Both sides guilty of not finishing off chances. Dwayne, this just rides a new complexion.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, Henry Paul, he's capable of a good kicking game. Certainly has a lot of distance on his boot, and just needed to get a favourable, roll behind them to be able to get those kicks away. Just from the half-time report, Coach Frank Endicott, he said that he's pretty happy with the score, as we thought. We'll just watch as Kiwi shifted out to the right.
Ruben Wiki! Great saving tackle from Gidley. Couple of metres away. Henry Paul, Craig Smith. Russell Smith with a warning to the Australians to stay back. Barnett up there, showing them the way. Straight across the paddock. Gidley this time again. Now Swain from dummy half for Robbie Paul. Brewer on his outside. Inside, Joe Wagner couldn't keep his feet. Stevens there to finish him off.
Wait!
Still 5 metres away. Henry, Robbie Paul it is to Henry. Cutting man out, Brewer taken brilliantly by Kamali, ball and all.
Wait!
The Australians are way offside in front of the referee. They chip high. Can they climb? Put down, knocked on. Another scrum feed. And they'll go back with a restart from underneath the post now. From the play of the ball, they were way ahead of the referee.
Yeah, you can see here that the Australians, they had to force an error and were up offside, but the defence of the Australians is very solid, but New Zealand are looking very strong.
Just quickly again, Dwayne, any rap from that dressing room again?
Yeah, Frank just thought that they were a bit unlucky with some of the 50-50 calls not going their way. He just wanted them to stay in this game, keep wearing the Australians down. He felt that if they could just get some more ball, then they could score some points. He spoke very much just about doing it. They're well in this game, and they've been playing well right in the first half.
Steve, the kangaroo room.
Yeah, Chris Anderson had 2 concerns. Firstly, around the marker area there. Richard Swain with the ball now. He's worried about that. Was a little bit loose.
Matty Rua just in behind the line. Will come back, Steve, as they go inside the 20 again. Swain to look to the Paul brothers. Henry stepping to the line. Logan Swan in support. He was thinking of pushing the ball back. Now for Robbie. Staying on the outside. Kearney. Great tackle from Kamali again. Fittler in support. Last tackle. Do they go wide to the in goal? Way too strong. It'll go back to the 20. Outstanding from the Australians. Great passage from them. Opportunity lost.
Yeah, great defence from the Australian side there. A lot of pressure being put on them by the Kiwis, who can score from anywhere with the Paul boys. But the Australians are up to the task. We have got a game on our hands.
Seiler keeping it alive as they confidently push it back in their own territory. Any further to add, Steve?
Yeah, the other thing Coach Anderson was concerned about was a couple of times they were in great attacking positions and they just pushed the pass, came up with a mistake and let all the pressure off. And he did also mention one final thing with the 40-20s, and we've already seen the results of that.
Seiler. Just about a kick you really couldn't defend against. That one from Henry Paul. Now Sailor right on the 50. Kamali. Punished by Matt Rua. Kamali again. Good quick play of the ball. And Kamali puts along the deck away from Barnett. Does well just to pick it up. Difficult ball for him. Lockyer on chase on Barnett. He's trying to go out to look to Vainikolo. Dummies to him. And good cover back on the inside from Kosev, who stayed with him all the way across field.
This is where the big forwards have to really work hard, the New Zealanders, and get back.
That was an awful mess in the play of the ball. Sorry, Toddy, that should have been a Kiwi penalty.
It should have been, but the Kiwis are looking to get up nice and quick for the play of the balls. They're looking for the penalties. The Australians will be trying to slow them down. This is where we need this roll on.
Henry Paul floating it over the top. Extra man, Wiki. Nigel Bunganar had gone infield. Now for Logan Swan to try and straighten. Heading it out towards the 50. Last tackle. They've done well to bring it back. Swain just kicking. Gets it away from Sailor and sends it down into the 10. The chase required is a good one. Lockyer upended right on his own 20. Another long haul now for the Aussies.
That's a good set of 6 from the Kiwis there. Swain just got great vision again out of dummy half. You can just see the meterage gained by the New Zealanders, though. They're very, very confident taking that ball up.
Darren Brett put down by 3. Big numbers. And the meters just favouring the Kiwis. It should certainly lift in this second 40 with the breeze at their backs. Who wants to control the ball? Who wants to finish off your sets of 6 and your chances down at the other end? Kamali. Along the deck, good driving kick, keeping it away from the breeze for Barnett to rush back. Kamali made 2 very, very important ball on all tackles on big men inside the 10 metres just a couple of minutes ago.
He's had a tremendous game out there and great kicking game from the Australians. This is where we talked about the ball security from the New Zealanders. They really have to concentrate.
Toddy, this is where I wouldn't muck around. This is where I'd just get somebody to settle it nice and strong up the middle, not waste too many tackles, and send it another 50, 60 metres downtown.
Exactly. We want to play the Australians down in their own quarter. They're not using the kicking game like we thought.
Talau will play it right near the 40. Is there any pressure on Henry Paul? He picks his mark, goes back towards that far sideline. Lockyer defends that. Beautifully read by him. And he goes out to Matt Rogers' wing. Rogers has broken an enormous number of tackles tonight, every time he's touched.
He's a fantastic player in bringing the ball back. Very, very hard to tackle and got so much pace, Matt Rogers.
Just another example in that kick. And you're going to use it. You've got to find some grass. You've got to make sure it finds some dirt. Pay dirt, that is. Get it away from the players. Kamali for Matthew Johns. Really knocked out in that first half. Kamali again. Kosev. Darren Smith finds himself in possession once more. Wrapped up just outside the Kiwi 30. Kamali finds his mark all the time, tries to get it away from the players. First time he's ever really made life that easy for Barnett. He's hobbling in back play, Kamali. He's in trouble, calling for trainer's assistance. Talau breaks a couple. Goes right up the middle, and again! Here's the roll on. Looking for a quick play of the ball. Surely the penalty's got to come. He just allows an advantage. The ball was never played. It just jumped out.
You can see the Australians are struggling there. They're lying all over the tackles.
Vainikolo away from Rogers, is he? Lockyer on the chase. Lockyer saves it. They've still got tackles and Australia rushing back. Kearney senses it out wide. Henry Paul finished off. What a saver from Gower. They still get there to save it. And they really slow it down and milk it. All offside behind him. Craig Smith, last tackle, handover. What about the tackle from Lockyer? What about the tackle from Gower?
And what about the defence of the whole Australian team scrambling there? But what about Vainikolo? We talked about it. New Zealand have got players who can score from anywhere on the pitch.
Vainikolo with this stunning run. Powered up. full fend there to Lockyer, who did well in the end. He got some more support from Rogers, who came back. Now, penalty for pushing them here that will ease the situation, but the Kiwis, Steve, just haven't been able to finish off plenty of chances.
Yeah, that's probably fair comment. They've had ample chances in this second half so far to score, and unfortunately from Australia's point of view there's going to be a lot more to come. They're going to have to defend in their line for a lot of sets of 6, and let's just hope they can hold them out.
Stevens. Dwayne, we've said it before a number of times the last few years that they really still have to play with their head to get home here.
Yeah, I think they have started to tidy up their game, the Kiwis. They've started to run a lot more from dummy half, just trying to make sure they can get the Australians backpedaling.
Rogers with a clever kick. Rogers again for himself. Barnett's there. I wonder why he kicked it. Why wouldn't you just grab it? It'll give it up to the Aussies. I thought he would have done best to dive at the ball, try and control possession.
Yeah, great stuff there from Matt Rogers. Barnett just shows you the pressure. Look at the kick. He knows he's got it on Barnacola, but Barnett comes across. This is what pressure's all about. You just do whatever comes into your mind. He kicks it out, saves maybe a try, but
all that advantage from half-time can mean nothing. This is the first real chance for the Aussies since the break. If they nail it, it will then require one of the great comebacks to get home. Gidley, dummies, steps taken right in front of their Kiwi post. Lockyer staying in the front line for Fittler. Fittler with a step. Fittler to stand and unload. Great ball back. Gower darting. Does he lose control? He does. Russell Smith was going to call it. He had the whistle in his mouth, pulled it back, never called anything on the play.
And that should be a penalty there, the Australian player pushing over a New Zealand player when he's trying to play the ball. Should have been a penalty.
Now, 2 and 3 in the tackle. He was going to call a penalty, and I think probably he should have, but he didn't. And I think because of that, he allowed the next one to go. Going to have to be careful about playing long advantages in this final if it's going to mean something big on the scoreboard.
Well, when the game's so close like this, he's got to be very careful.
Kearney, well controlled in the first 40. Now they think about the kick. Henry Paul, but he's just going to send it straight to Lockyer. They are not finding territory. Rogers. Australia will grow if you just kick straight to them.
And the Australian defence too, they're standing right back there waiting the kicks. They're anticipating the big kicks. I think maybe a little chip kick, something like that from the poor boys just over top, just in behind the defence. May work a little bit later on.
The final is just waiting for somebody to make the big mistake to turn this game. Gower easily from dummy half. Gower. The Australians are lifting after taking all that pressure from half-time. Jason Smith out there from the bench for Matthew Johns with big numbers, and a rush from Fittler for Darren Smith, and Sailor, everybody wanted to go high. He'll be held up, but they'll get more possession. In just 5 or 6 metres, there was about 5 who couldn't put him down.
Well, he's very, very dangerous, Wendell Sailor. We haven't seen a lot of him in the game so far, but close to the line, very, very slippery customer. Look at the power he's got. He goes through about 4 or 5 Kiwi defenders.
In the end, it was a 6 that came to make sure there was support to hold them up. They smell the real chance.
Hands up on your line, Kiwis! On your line, run!
Girdler right on the 10. Jason Smith. Such a dangerous ball player this far out from the line. So many key players. Fittler, Jason Smith, Kamali, Matthew Johns. They can all lay it on. Johns just needed somebody on his outside. The Kiwis are scrambling. Girdler rushes up, loses it. Play on, says Russell Smith. Ball was always knocked backwards, he said. 5 metres away. Both sides throwing everything into this passage. Jason Smith, that looked as though it nearly went forward. Now is he held up? They'll get another 6, and I don't know if New Zealand will hang on for the next set.
Well, if they do, it's a courageous effort. I think they can. Look at Ruben Wiki, though. He come bursting out of the line. Tried to put on a big hit. That's what they need, and he can do it, Ruben Wiki. Can they hold on? There's going to be a lot of ticker needed. There it is there, Ruben. Didn't come off for him.
I just wasn't sure about the ball to Jason Smith. I thought it was touch and go. I thought he had overrun it and it was forward. But they get 6 more. Lockyer. Men to the outside. Vainikolo was off Rogers. And Rogers will get the corner and the try.
Have a look at that.
They got caught short in numbers as they rushed at it. Too much pressure, too much possession. They will check it upstairs.
Yes, and then the grounding to follow that.
That's a try.
No doubt about it. Got it down. Vainikolo had come in. And he gave that edge and the head start to Matt Rogers to send Ericsson quiet on this green light. (18-10).
Yeah, good stuff from the Australians. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the defence had to crack the New Zealanders. This is the third straight set. They took them on out wide. That last pass, though, looked a little bit suspect, but Matty Rogers on the end of it.
Yeah, Darren Lockyer making up for that time spent in the bin. Just a nice little shimmy, able to get on the outside of his man. And Matt Rogers, he's done nothing wrong all night.
Great backline movement here by the Aussies. Even more so as you'll see Matthew Johns was feeding that scrum. Brett Kamali's got some injury concerns and he's in the sheds at the moment with the doctor. So hopefully we can get him back out there shortly. But great try to Matty Rogers, he's second of the night.
Now this is such a vital kick. And he is one of the finest. But from way out on the chalk to give him 10-point gap. Rogers from the sideline off the post. Can you believe it in a final? What sort of a story is that going to tell on this in the end? 18-10. Plenty of anxious looks still at Ericsson Stadium. The way this final has gone, it is now New Zealand's turn. You're expecting them to counter-punch, to come up with the try. Rogers has got a double for the Aussies. And the Kiwis still, I believe, paying for a poor kicking game.
Well, it certainly has cost them in metres gained, really, because they've had to do all the hard work in the forwards and they're not getting those easy metres with a big kicking game. But having said that, the New Zealand side, the defence is very, very strong and they could easily spill the ball out of one of the Australian attackers.
Darren Britt. They've spent the greater concern at their own end, the Kiwis. Fittler. Jason Smith puts it down. The door is open. Pressure pass to Jason Smith, and he had a quick look at the defensive line.
He certainly had a look all right, and that's because the sting's been out there with the New Zealand side. Great stuff from Henry Paul.
Still so much time, just a bit under 23 minutes.
And just quietly, that's a long time in rugby league.
Logan Swan breaking from the scrum. Jason Smith just hangs on grimly. Slows the play down for a long time. Logan Swan wants to go on with him. Right in front of the post and only 15 metres away. Just what they want. Now they get a penalty right in front of the post. They've got to take 2. Sets up the situation for a converted try to lock it up. Right in front. An easy 2. Villa, Darren Britt. Pushing Kalis back down. Thought they were lucky to get away with hanging on to Logan Swan for a long time, but both sides guilty of really putting it to the referee in this final.
Well, they're certainly testing him out.
Henry Paul, it's set up now. Grab another try and really put it to each other. The Aussies still with some comfort though. Just 2 more from Henry Paul. 18-12. Lockyer with the restart.
This is where the New Zealand forwards now have to really dig deep, Graham. They've got to get that good roll on. The kicking game hasn't been that great for them in the second half. They're not using the wind like we expected.
Gene Namu out there in 14. Now he knows this joint, every blade of grass. If anybody can get a kicking game right, he's got to be a key, even from the dummy half position. Wicky out to the 40. If ever he's going to play the right role, Dwayne, he's got it set up for him too.
Yeah, Jez, I'll tell you what, though, I've got to give a rap to all the outside backs on both sides. Been marvellous. We've seen Nigel Wagner and Leslie Vinocolo just take all the opportunity. Robbie Paul needs to play more of a role of making sure he shifts the ball to the right players, picks up the runners. Henry Paul looking for that long kicking game that you've suggested, needs to find some grass.
He does, it bounces away, Rogers plays at it. He's been outstanding on the wing. Rogers again nearly breaks out of the 20.
He's just one of those players who looks as though he's got so much time on his hands. It's a class player.
Midway through this second 40. Confidently played at it, stopped, restarted, and nearly broke out of the tackle. You just got to make sure that they don't get anywhere near the 50 before they kick to get away from their own half. You've got to keep them pinned down around the 30, but once again, they're breaking out pretty confidently. Saylor skipping from one, turning, wanting to restart. He puts it down. This final's already at a stage where somebody makes a big mistake, it might be it. I know there's a lot of time, but the game could turn on the next try. Namu, Robbie Paul for Willie Tallow. Absolute grim defence from both sides have saved it time and time again. Lowry, they just fly in, the Australians. It goes back. They pick up the dregs. Barnett puts the foot down. Barnett just 12 metres away. Now, pushed in the back as he tried to get up. Robbie Paul. Robbie Paul. Put down and still alive. Oh, put down by Lockyer. What a save. That was still okay for Logan Swan.
Get away, get away.
The Aussies are complaining. Everybody's been complaining to him all night.
I'm fairly certain the grounding.
Was he onside, Logan Swan? Here's the kick.
Fairly certain he didn't get a grounding on it. Just have a look, see him knocked it out.
Now, touched, put down, off the legs of Logan Swan. He's okay. And this is touched, I think, by Lockyer. It'll go back under the post. The Kiwis will get it back.
Oh, yep, got it then.
Yeah, that's great stuff there from Logan Swan. Followed it through. Jason Lowry in a lot of trouble. They've been carried off.
We've had to wait. We've had to wait until the 61st minute, Steve, but here comes the most important 6 tackles in the final today.
Yeah, they all get more important from now on. A great opportunity here for the Kiwis to put a try on.
Craig Smith, huge restart into the breeze. Jason Smith takes him just outside the 30. This crowd now is roaring. Now they're alive. Logan Swan. Midfield again. Best position to operate from. Barnett up there. They go to Kearney. Kearney on the fringe. Well taken by Fiddler. Tried to play it. Fiddler hung on to him. They'll get another chance at 2, and 2 that does set up the chance of a win. Fiddler's going to go and have a chat, but there's been so many line ball calls here. The number of times that Russell Smith could have pulled up both sides.
Well, it certainly has. And Brad Fiddler may ask the question, but the New Zealanders are fighting to get up for those quick play the balls. There's the penalties awarded. 11-5.
Fiddler hung on, and way too long. Been a pressure night all night round for the man in the middle, Graham.
Yeah, plenty of people coming to the sideline from this intensity of the match. Jason Lowry took a heavy knock, though. We'd expect him to be back. Craig Gower, he has just a knock on the neck, but Brett Camorley, he's come back from a bruised hip. Expect all players to get back out on the paddock.
Tough night out. Right on the 20, that sets it up. Look out. Are they storming home in the Tri-Series final of 99, 18-14? Just the incident on Lowry. Took a heavy shot over the top, copped the forearm of Darren Brett. The Aussies with the restart. I wonder, Toddy, is it important that the Kiwis had a game against Tonga? They had a match last week against Great Britain. The Australians, the layoff.
Well, sometimes that can go against you. The Kiwis have played every week. Their match fitness probably will hold up stronger towards the last 10. The Australians' legs may go wanting.
Can Joe Vugana, Craig Smith get on the roll the last 17 minutes? Namu kicking over the head of Sailor, out towards the sideline. That's the sort of kick they need. That's the guy that knows this joint, Ericsson. Sailor, look at the chase. Massive numbers now. They're roaring and lifting. All the locals screaming for a historic finish. Lockyer, just the sort of genius that can find some magic to bust it back to the Aussies. Nothing in those kicking meters. Fletcher, they get in big numbers on him, and they throw him back towards his own 20.
You can see the Kiwi side there. They're just growing with the crowd.
Now the ball was stripped and a penalty comes.
Tackle made, he's got the ball out of his hand. Tackle a long since.
Just can't afford to let him off the hook. Joe Vugana shakes his head. Were they guilty on this occasion? Logan Swan's in there. That one came out pretty quick. Hard to judge on it all, but they don't find the sideline. We might be talking about that one at the finish. Under pressure, another huge mistake. Might be the biggest one of all. Namu. Up for Robbie Paul. Out wide. Logan Swan climbs into the line. Still on his hands and knees finally before he finishes 12 away. Ruben Wiki to step, to try and bounce his way through as the Australians dig as deep as possible. 5 out. Who wants it? Who wants the final of 99? Robbie Paul. Second time. Joe Vugana did well to hang on. Quick play the ball. Last tackle. They're gone. Somebody's gone to the bin for 10. Darren Britt's out of here. They'll have another chance at 2. Fittler walks up and says plenty.
That's a great call there from Russell Smith. The Aussies have been doing it all the time, trying to slow the Kiwis down when they get a roll on. This is exactly what New Zealand want. And if you're going to hold on to players, mate, you're off the field.
It's not just down sideline or amongst the stands. It's up in the box as this passion fills over. Darren Britt hung on. Fittler had hung on and got worn. And now another 2. As you would expect, Steve, just add a touch of drama to the final as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, ease up, Toddy, would you? I thought it was a hard call.
Sorry, mate, I get a bit excited up here. I'm standing next to Graham.
They will be within 2. There was 2 points in the first game. Now from Henry Paul. There is 2 points in the final, the most important game of all. 18-16. Henry Paul supporting his own team, just saying to them, just inside the last 14, we got the chance to finish over the top. Barnett, the skipper, who knows in the back of his mind that he is so close to an historic title. Craig Smith. Time in possession, a very important favour to the Kiwis. You can't make any more mistakes, can't give away any penalties. Craig Smith just wants to get on with it, as does Nigel Vugana. He showed him the quick play of the ball. Henry Paul, stepping, swinging arm over the top from Darren Smith. Again, they just need the good kick and chase. Ruben Wiki towards the 50, just battering their way up towards Aussie territory. Australians forced to make so much defence. Now Namu with a kick that was nothing at the end of it. Just sailed it out to the wing. Didn't go deep.
Yeah, that was a bad kick there from Gene Namu. It was a nothing kick, and they really should have put a big one in.
The Australians down to 12 for about another 8 minutes or so. Will get a chance at some points. Kamali back out there, swinging arm and high, warning to Craig Smith. Now expect Kamali, Fittler, Jason Smith to go into overdrive. They're big playmakers to look for something special. Kosseff. Brilliantly taken by Kamali on the fingertips. Fletcher trapped quickly by a rushing Robbie Paul. Fittler himself, the skipper to show the way. Put down in a strong tackle. Willie Tallow. Just under 12 minutes. Jason Smith takes the tackle right on the 20. He goes looking for the penalty. Gower quickly. Gower now for Kosseff. And the Australians are sent down to the last tackle. Kamali's there for the kick. He'll go wide, Willie to Sailor. No, Gower went short side and got pinged. Crazy decision. Crazy from Craig Gower on the last tackle.
And he passed it, maybe should have been a penalty, but great defence from the Kiwis. You can see there's plenty of sting in the defence of the New Zealand side.
Vainikolo spinning. Vainikolo! What a run from him to set it up. Now they will lift in this set. Craig Smith. So much defence for the Australians. They have hung on and hung on. They have done so well to deny any try at all in this second 40. Henry Paul for Rua. Jason Smith went up around the ball. The Australians went over to the referee immediately and said nothing in it. Russell Smith, let's have a listen. Just warned him about going high.
Yeah, there wasn't too much in it, but we'll take it on the fourth tackle. Let's go, boys.
Henry Paul. Here it is. This is it. You've got a fresh set of 6. Another look at it. You're inside the 20. You've got everything. You've got the world to play for, and you throw Vagana at him. Nigel Vagana! You know what? Words are not required. Big Joe, the cousin Nigel, and grab the lead.
Wow, we said Big Joe needed a big game. Have a look at this ball. 2 and 3 Australians. And what a try! What do you reckon, Dino?
Well, the Paul brothers had 2 denied. This time it's the Vagana cousins. Look at Joe, just takes on Big Wendell. Darren Smith can't get there. The only one is Russell Smith. He's in the way. He's not going to have a go. You beauty, Nigel Vagana.
Yeah, a simple try to the Kiwis in the end there. Joe Vagana shows his strength there, but it really was the result of continual pressure for about 20 minutes.
Can they bring the house down any more over the top of that? What other turns are left in this one? Henry Paul. Off the posts! Both kickers denied by a coat of paint tonight, but Nigel Vagana with a try that sends them out to 2018. He made it break back, if you can believe it. Bit of an in-swinger. Richie Barnett. He's got one hand on it. And Brad Fittler with the other, trying not to let go of the title of the #1 team. Barnett takes one reasonably high from Darren Smith. Nigel Vagana. Now they need to get down there quickly again to build on it. Can't afford a mistake at this end. Joe Vagana just takes control in a big way out towards the 40. Good kick required if they go early days on it. They stay with possession. Richard Swain to the 50. For so long, this nation has been waiting on it in rugby league for 46 years. They get one to cut the grass, but to a real danger man, Rogers. And he's going to try and link with Lockyer. They've got him inside the 20.
Oh, you can feel this. I'm sorry if I've lost my voice, but you can feel this is fantastic stuff from the Kiwis. It's been a tough week for us all, Graham, over here. But the boys boys are going to bring home the bacon, I reckon.
Still a long time. Still a lot of time, and the Australians with plenty of big match winners. But they're going to need somebody like Saylor or Jason Smith or Fittler, Kamali to stand up real quick. Just the one try. They've found the Kiwis in the second 40. One more tackle remaining. Heavy penalty count against the Australians as Kamali beautifully cuts it between Barnett and Vainikolo. They'll chase and try and force the error. And a good chase as they still find plenty.
That is a great chase from the Australians. You see Frank Endicott there. It's little Stacey Jones. How proud must he be of the boys out there tonight?
Lots of pressure, lots of football still left, Steve. How do you see the Aussies getting home?
Well, we've got to come up with something pretty special. The Kiwis have certainly got a spring in their step at the moment. The crowd's really urging you on down here, but I'm just worried that we won't get an opportunity. Just having a look here at the Henry again. It's difficult to get down in the Kiwis' quarter with this strong breeze to get an opportunity to score.
Robbie Paul cramping up. There'll be pressure on the kicker. Jason Smith is flying. And they get it down, but they don't get it in good territory on the chase. They'll be able to bring it back near the 40. Rogers, good tackle. He and Wiki, Willie Talau have been outstanding.
Yeah, they certainly have out wide. They've been fantastic. But, you know, your kick's only as good as your chase. They need to chase the Kiwis, but you can just see the defence from the New Zealand boys. They're firing up, and so is this crowd.
Everybody's been used to, for years now, for 21 years, since the last series lost by Australia anywhere in the world, of pressure situations like this. Big experience, big talent, finding the way home. This is the toughest way out ever, though, in that last 21 years. Kamali! Kamali! They might still find it! Kamali! Beautifully! Fittler standing! Long time, they'll get to the corner! Saylor will get it!
Yo, little beauty!
Absolutely remarkable. Remarkable that they kept this alive 2 and 3 times. It looked like it was shut down. And right at the death down near the 5-minute marker, it's Saylor.
Yeah, well, the Australians, you know, there's one thing about Australian culture. They know how to play big matches. They know how to play sport. They know how to finish, and they never give up. Great stuff from Brad Fittler. This guy here, Wendell Saylor, who's been relatively quiet all game, really sparks up.
Yeah, Brett Kamali, he read the situation well. Kiwis haven't been playing with the second sweeper. Richie Barnett, once the line's broken, he's all there on his own. He's had a big game tonight, though, but the scrambling defence, not able to put the player on the deck and just failing to just, you know, finish off the play and paying dearly for the price.
Yeah, how's that voice of yours, Toddy? Is she coming good? Great work from the Aussies there. The Kiwis defence looked rock solid, and we didn't really look like threatening, but we've come up with a try.
And his 13th test. The most important finish of all now from Rogers. He's been denied by the posts. And this one he will hook around too far. So it's there. A try will get you home. And there is still time, but only just 22-20. Now somebody rushed up out of the line. Who was it? Kidwell rushed up, I think, left a gap in behind where he was. He got nobody.
Yeah, certainly did. They were made to pay dearly for that. But still, as we say in rugby league, 4.5 minutes is still a long time to go.
They went short. Don't know that they needed to with 4 minutes. They were going to try and force the Australians to kick from down deep if they could, but the Australians will be on excellent position to kick after the end of this. So they'll have to go a long, long way, the Kiwis. 22-20. Will they be denied by 2 after just 2 points in it in the first game? The Kiwis way. Fletcher waiting sideline to get back out there. They all stood up, their key playmakers, in that last rush. Fittler, Kamali. Now Kamali again to put them down in danger with a kick. Barnett will have to get out of his own territory. Barnett in trouble. Barnett. Saylor's there. They'll get it back. How good is that? The professionalism in the kick and the chase. And it makes me again talk about that kick from Gene Namu. The kick a couple of times in the last 5 or 10 that hasn't been right, hasn't been long and deep from the Kiwis.
Well, that's one thing, I suppose, with the Kiwi side is their kicking game hasn't been up to it. The Australians have had a fantastic kicking game and used the wooden very, very nicely in the first half.
Here's the chance just to wrap it up, to finish it off. Jason Smith wasting time, as you would do. Kamali. Fumbles it. Here it is. This is it. If you're ever going to do it, why not do it in style with only a couple of minutes left on the clock?
Please don't tease me. Great pressure though. Kamali had a wee look. He saw the defence coming.
Had a look, looked away to where he was going to pass it before he even held on to it. Henry Paul for Wiki. Wiki looking for support, won't be able to unload. Just under 2.5 as they go short side. Darren Smith slowing it down, throwing back. Crowd calling for a penalty as it goes to Wiki again. Anybody got anything left in the legs at the finish? Wiki upended, 35 out from his own line. Kalis, one out, won't do it. Kidwell, everybody wants to do it on their lonesome at the moment. They've got to get together. Last tackle, they'll have to run it. Tallow outside, now kicking back inside. Lockyer slip, Ruler's chasing. Lockyer in front of his own post, recovers magnificently. Thrown to ground heavily. 90 seconds. They might just have time with a couple of plays, the Kiwis, but they've got to keep them down deep at their own end.
They're going to get one more crack at it. They're going to get one more set of 6. Big Joe's looking on.
The Aussies will go sideline at the end of it, slow it down with a kick over the chalk. 75 seconds in a final full of drama. Can they be this close to history and miss out? The Australians to defend that 21-year record as champions. Last tackle, Smith out over the sideline as it can't quite meet it. They'll still have a chance. Barnett, Richie Barnett trying to slice through, 50 seconds only. Penalty. They've got to get on with it straight away. Surely they can't make the distance. Henry Paul was thinking after the chat with Richie Barnett, I think, about even going for goal from 60 out. This is all there is about it. Last 24 seconds. Kearney. If there's a special move they haven't tried, how about now? Kalis, right up the middle, what a finish. What a finish to an incredible season. Henry Paul to bomb away, right in front of the post. Lockyer puts it down. Whose ball? The Kiwis have scrambled over the line. Who wants it?
Have a look at that, please.
In a remarkable season, we can't finish it till the bloke upstairs has one more look.
Darren Lockyer here to knock the ball back, and then the New Zealand number 30 was scrambling.
The Australians believe that's it. It's all finished.
You can see from the kick, just followed it through. Let's see if there's any offside first, because it will be relevant.
Now,
so we'll go
kick goes up.
Dennis.
I think that came off a hand of the Kiwis.
We'll go beyond that if that's okay.
Now, lost here. Fumble there as well out to anybody. Try and sort that out.
And then let's see what happens.
Now, if there's anything wide to suggest any penalty or any interference, that is the only hope.
I tell you what, I want to see this one again.
Hang on, lads, hang
Now,
on.
my only concern is that in climbing against Lockyer, was it Lockyer or a Kiwi hand that loses it? Who loses it here? Not played at by anybody. Still alive. Picked up. Does he get it down? Does he get it down? I don't believe it. If there's still something in this, maybe a head-on shot only. Does the ball cut chalk? It's not grounded. The Australians hold it up. Can't get it down. They are an inch from 46 years of history. An inch from 46 years. That close, but they will have to wait for a 47. What a finish. Absolutely remarkable to go to that extent, but how about the defence of Australia in the second 40, where the Kiwis just could not finish, scrambling everywhere. They're going to rue a kicking game, and they're going to rue their finish, the Kiwis. They gave it everything, but the Australians by 2 in a drama charge final, 22-20. Great finish. Absolutely remarkable. They were disallowed a try to Robbie Paul first half, just denied on the line to Henry Paul. After all of this, Tolly, they're going to be absolutely destroyed getting so close.
Well, that's right, you know, and I suppose the big thing about that New Zealand side is they went out there, they had a go, they showed that they got plenty of pride in that New Zealand jumper. They wanted to win this one. The Australians just too good on the night. But really, I think, and it's a cliche, but the game was the winner, wasn't it? It was a fantastic spectacle.
Well, you saw a great contest. An incredible second 40, one of the real stars for them. Great star out on the wing. Point scoring freak Matty Rogers. Here he is with Steve Walters.
What about that? Good on you, mate.
Well done, Matty. I've got a great match for yourself tonight.
Yeah, it was. I was under a bit of pressure, you know. I hadn't really performed this series, mate. Just thank the Lord, It just blessed me big time and came out and had a great game, and I'm just wrapped.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited myself. It doesn't get much closer than that to the finish there.
No, well, you know, hopefully we'll get the crowds back to Test match football. You know, they've probably been a bit low this year, and hopefully games like that will bring them back in.
You really showed a bit of spirit in the second half there. Plenty of pressure from the Kiwis on your line. A lot of really good defence.
And that's the main thing.
Congratulations, mate. Have a good night.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
They'll do that after hanging on to their title. Disappointed the locals here, who were on their feet with not long to go in this game, thinking Nigel Wagner had scored the try that might have just won it. Here he is with Dwayne Mann.
Nigel, I know you're disappointed. Tough luck out there, but I thought the team held their discipline well, and you gave yourself every chance of winning.
Yeah, we always knew, you know, we had the win in the second half, and you know, with the crowd that'll bring us home strong. You know, we did that, hung in there, you know, the arm wrestle, but they just got in the last minute, and you know, that's rugby league for you.
You felt that, you know, with the amount of ball that you certainly had the opportunity just to make sure you get a good kicking game and were able to grind them down?
Yeah, I thought we grinded them down pretty well, you know, in the second half. They were getting tired, giving away penalties. A couple of their boys went to the sin bin, and we just kicked the points, and we were hanging in there, and then just some, you know, 50